Good morning, guys. All right, so the Bitcoin bear Nazis say no bounce for you. Why am I starting with the dollar? Because the dollar is strengthening, running into resistance here at the 50-day. And really, I've said this for the last 2 weeks, it really is all about the dollar at this point. Strong dollar indicates the indexes will continue to drop. Correlated with that is our crypto space, and that will continue to weigh heavily on the crypto space. So at this point, we are running into resistance with the dollar, and it could be that the bears then take a little bit of a break on the indexes. But this price action is pretty amazing here. If you look at the S&P, we drove right through this 200-day, and this is the first time we have crossed the 200-day since June. And we really just poked our heads through one day, did not confirm that of 2020. All right, so we haven't really been below the 200 days since May of 20. And now we just kind of drove right through this 200-day. And I do think that in correlation with what we're seeing on the dollar chart, running into resistance here, that we will, you know, the Bitcoin bulls, the dollar bulls are going to kind of take a break here, and correlated with that, the index bears will take a break. And so we may see a comeback up here to kiss the 200-day before further downside, or maybe at this point we're below the 200-day, so I'm not going to say that two of my theories were once we drop under this channel, we continue to to trend down or sideways action. We don't have enough data to say which pattern is likely, but I was thinking we could form some sort of a sideways channel here and just kind of bounce around in that channel until midsummer. But it's looking like the bears are very strong here and may continue to trend us down. Again, that remains to be seen. But a bearish action is very strong. Let me pull up the volume here and see what we've got so far. And you can see the bears have really taken over the space in the index, on the indexes, and this is the S&P. NASDAQ, again, we just continue to drive down. Really, this is amazing. Just straight down. No, not much of a break. I mean, we had a little bit of a break here once we hit that 200-day, pop back up, hit the underside of our channel, kissed mama goodbye, and then straight through that 200-day as well. All right, and that looks pretty even. Market likes to travel in fractals, and so the distance from here to our 200-day is about the same distance from the bottom of our channel to where we're at today. Again, indicating it could be time for a break, and we are due for a break. So I'm expecting a little bit of a bounce soon. However, we did not get the bounce today that I was hoping for in the crypto space. And of course, you guys know that's what my channel is mostly about. All right, and this is actually interesting. So I had proposed the idea that we might have some kind of a head and shoulders pattern beginning to form, but we would have needed to bounce right here to form that right shoulder. All right, at which point when you break below this neckline, you measure your distance here, and it's the same distance for the target down. All right, whatever that would be. However, that is not playing out as proposed, and we're getting some different price action here. We just dropped straight below that neckline. So So now we have to anticipate what might happen, and I will watch this. I think at some point we're going to come back and kiss that uh, resistance now. So that is something that we will probably do in the future fairly soon. Jumping over to our crypto leaders, let's see what's going on. Ethereum is looking really ugly. Found support way down here at what, almost 2,000. Move this chart up so we can see. All right. And again, we just have to follow the dollar mainly and then those indexes because we are in tight correlation currently. And at some point in the future, I do expect that there will be a decoupling of sorts as crypto starts to take a stand uh, as a global, you know, asset property / currency. But that's in the future. Right now, we are still correlated with the markets. And you can see yesterday I pulled this trend line down, and we seem to are using it right now as support. And so at this point, it's looking like maybe tomorrow we bounce up and kiss the underside of this 36,000, and then continue down to our target here, which I am now saying is our target of 24,000. We'll see what happens at this 30,000 mark, though, because that's pretty significant as well. In fact, I should take that and put that in red. Well, I'll just leave it green. Maybe that's good luck for us, right? I don't know. Um, but, I expect we will turn around, kiss this goodbye, come down to a 30,000 bounce. We'll bounce here. I don't expect us to go straight through, but who knows? These bears are very strong. They may just take us straight down and get it over with to the 24,000 mark. Really, this has been difficult to call. But I now know, unfortunately, through experience, that this is looking like a valid head and shoulders pattern, which I ignored because I was being confused with data from Glassnode, which I shouldn't have taken. It has nothing to do with technical analysis. I shouldn't have given that illiquidity data so much weight in my analysis. And because I did that, it clouded my judgment. I ignored for one of the first times a very probable head and shoulders pattern, even though that's a weak right shoulder. It appears to be valid, right? And so this is why I've preached this in the past and then I didn't practice what I preached. You don't follow news. You don't follow data from other sources. You don't follow the tweets of Michael Saylor buying more Bitcoin. That will only cloud and pollute your judgment on the charts. Follow technical analysis. It tells you everything you need to know. The news will come later. At some point in the future, we will probably find out why there is so much selling on this market, even with the low amount of liquidity on the exchanges. We'll find out something. Remember, I said two of our biggest crypto state or Bitcoin stakeholders are China and the US. And I don't trust any one of them more than the other. And I'm honestly saying that. I really don't. It's a sad state that the US has brought its citizens to make such statements like that, but it is the honest truth. And if they want to build rapport with their citizens, if they want to build morale with their citizens, then we need to quit all this deceitful babble on the boob tube and the programming outlets, uh, television. They're telling us a vision that is sometimes not a vision that is accurate. And so we have in the US a sad state of a high degree of skepticism. Our government tells us one thing, and we have no reason to believe that. And so I go off on that rant because I'm only pointing out when we look at the top, let's jump over there real quick. The top Bitcoin holders at this point, you can see Chinese government, number 3, US government, number 6. And I don't count any one of those more trustworthy than the other. And that's unfortunately the sad truth. Not my fault, US government. That's not my fault. That's on you guys. And all of this corrupt political gesturing, posturing, deceitful, uh, speech and talk. Uh, that's just the way it is. So we will find out what is actually going on, why all the selling. One of the theories I have after I saw my massive capital gains taxes from last year is maybe there's a lot of capital gains harvesting going on at this moment. People realize that if they don't pay their taxes, this is the world we live in. The IRS will come to your door with a gun held to your head and take you off to jail. You got to pay those taxes. The government owns the monopoly on violence, and so they are in power. And in this country, we have to pay a pretty high amount of capital gains taxes. And there's been a lot of gains in crypto space last year. So people have to figure out how to pay those taxes somehow. And it could be that people are selling to take some of their portfolio and pay the good old IRS for these taxes that are due. I don't know. That's just one theory. And then I don't know what the US is doing with their holdings on crypto or China's doing. They could be, for whatever nefarious purpose, manipulating this market. That's conspiracy. I understand that. We don't know that yet. But I'm conjecturing here because we have something that's going on that really doesn't make sense from a news standpoint, other than the broader markets are crashing and Bitcoin is in tight correlation with that. But somehow we should be factoring in a little bit more of the inflationary uh, cause. And so at some point, I think the collective will catch up and realize that, in my opinion, uh, Bitcoin is greatly undervalued here, and they will bite back in, and then we will see a bull run begin once again. But until then, play this safely. If you're looking bearish, as I now am, then you might want to sell once we come back up into this level here, hit our heads on that, because then we will, at that point, we will proceed further down. Unless, one exception to that, let's say tomorrow we come back up and close up here. All right. We're working hard to erase this structure, this line of resistance. But if the bulls are able to take us back above here, we close, open another candle, and close above that. That indicates we might go up to this level instead, and then come back down. And then who knows? But we have to watch this price action, and you guys are as good as me at this point, and predicting what might happen. The charts are telling us that we're going down to 24,000, and as hard as it is for me to trust that, that's what it is. That's what it is. This is a head and shoulders pattern, and I had to learn that through experience. But thankfully, I get to learn that with all of you guys. So you guys, not thankfully because of your loss, but I'm sharing this with you, so we won't make that same mistake again. When we see a small shoulder like this, I guess it doesn't matter how small, Maybe it does, but at this point we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17 candles on the daily, um, creating this small right shoulder, and that was enough. That was enough, and this is a head and shoulders pattern for sure. Not saying we don't always reach our target, so I'm not saying for sure we will come down to 24,000. But that's what this is pointing to. So we have to be cautious and expect that. A good sign that do see here is, a lot of selling volume. Kind of that points to a little bit of capitulation, and so, um, but these are all variables that we have to weigh very carefully at this point, and you all have to make your judgment call. We didn't get the bounce I was expecting above this trend line, so now if we close this candle below today, below the trend line, that's indicating we will proceed further down. If we close above this trend line, then we have to watch the price line and wait for another confirmation above tomorrow, and then we know we will bounce up from here. But until then, it's looking like we're only going to bounce from here, hit a heads on this trend line, and then come down further. All right, that's it for today, guys. Take care out there. Let me know in the comments if you have any further thoughts, and we will talk to you another day. Peace.